Hi, and thank you so much for joining me here on the CMajor After Show. This is CMajor, and I am talking to you about committing to music. So if you joined me over at the CMajor radio show earlier, you heard me talking about some of the things that were happening with students, things that were happening with parents, and the issues that were coming up that everyone's not sure what to do these days here in the 21st century where technology is so prominent and we have so many ways to connect through technology. How do you stay committed to making music when there's so much to grab your attention? So those are the things that we want to talk about today, and then I will mention some of the things that are happening, some exciting things that are happening over at CMajor's classroom. So school is in. School is in. And I'm glad you're here with me. So I had the chance to attend a concert this week, and it was very inspiring because it was all about young artists. So I'm going to be giving some shout outs today, so stay tuned for that because I want you to know what these young people are doing, the commitment that they are making to music making, and how they are doing it. And does it involve technology? Or does it just involve a vision for their own musicianship? So these are the things that we're talking about here in the after show. And I just want to say that very clearly there are some ways that you can really delve into opportunities that are out there for new learning when it comes to music. So whether or not you go the traditional route of piano lessons, taking violin lessons, taking cello lessons, for instance, and you want to delve into music literacy from the classical point of view, or if you're deciding to go into jazz, for instance, and study more about jazz music and develop your understanding of practicing jazz music theory, or if you're looking to just play simple tunes from a pop music point of view or rock music and you want to understand music theory from that regard. Whatever it is that you decide to do, I hope that you will stay with it for the long term because I think there are benefits to doing that. So I want to give some shout outs. First, I'm going to give some shout outs to my own students. These students recently had their recitals over the weekend, and so I know they worked really, really hard on presenting their pieces, and so I'm giving shout-outs to all of my students that participated in recitals this year. Some students were a little bit on the fence about participating this year, but their parents were there to give them the extra push, and so a big shout-out to those students again and to the parents who were able to see the value in having them perform live in front of an audience. So I think that's great, and I want to encourage you to keep doing that. And I also want to give a shout out to some of the teachers. So shout out to the teachers. These teachers are so committed to their students. They were performing on stage with them, either providing an accompaniment or just playing along as part of a duet. And I think it's just great how they are encouraging their own students. And so there was a recital that I know of that took place in Paramus, New Jersey, and then there was another recital that took place in Montclair also over the weekend. So big shout out to the teachers that were presenting, and some of these teachers I know. So I think that's great. Now I want to give a shout out to the teachers that I met with last week. I really enjoyed meeting these teachers because they are very serious about encouraging their students to continue with music making. The ones that can go far, they are really encouraging them and just presenting the possibilities beyond music exams. So it was great to network with these teachers and to hear their thoughts. And I think the consensus is that students who can do a music exam program, that's great. But beyond that, you're invited to step into the artist realm and do a full half-hour program of just nothing but repertoire. 20 minutes of what you're supposed to play as part of a syllabus and additional time for your own selection of pieces and just learning how to sequence and how to pace a program. And I just am so excited about the possibilities for the students that really want to go this far. And these students aren't necessarily going to go on to major in music and piano performance, for instance. They are going to go on to academic careers in law, academic careers in medicine, academic careers in science and mathematics, but they are showing the commitment. And so I also want to say something about the music exam program that I'm participating in. You've heard me mention it. And what it means to me, but there is a limit on the accreditation over here in the U.S., but not in the U.K. for this music exam program. And I just learned about that. But if you want me to say more about that, I would say catch me offline. I can tell you a little bit more about the conversation that I had. But whatever the case may be, if you are looking to go to that level, then I think that's great. Some parents think that their children graduate from a certain grade of music exam, but you really don't. You're able to take it a step further. And so that was the most strong message that this meeting sent, that I felt. That was the strongest message that was picked up in this meeting, that you can go further than just the music exam and go into the artist realm, so to speak. So how do you do that? Well, one example is what these young people are doing in the Young Artist concert that I attended. So this was a finale concert. It took place in Princeton, New Jersey. And if you want to see pictures of this, then just tap into my social media. You'll be able to see it there. I'm starting to post some pictures and just to talk about it in the blog over at CMajor's Classroom. So definitely go to CMajor's Classroom this week because I'm going to be posting a new homework assignment, and it has to do with listening, because I want you to hear some of these pieces that these students played. I mean, they were very, very difficult pieces, very mature pieces for young artists to be playing. And so see me over there for that, because I have pieces from Mendelssohn that I will list, pieces from Kavalevsky, Sibelius, and Prokofiev. So see me over there for that. Now, I'm going to give some shout-outs to some of the soloists that participated in this concert. But before I do that, I have an important question for you. Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework this week? I really want to know, because if you did, then see me over at CMajor's Classroom. Leave me a note. Tell me how it went, because I also posted, upon finishing this meeting with teachers, I posted a competition that is available to students. So last week's homework was really about connecting with teachers that may want to participate in competitions for their students, a chance to have them perform at Carnegie Hall, for instance, or somewhere else, and to put together a program and to work with the teacher to make sure the pieces are what they need to be for this particular competition. So I hope you were able to take a look at that homework. Also, I want to post this week the pieces that were played in the concert that I attended over the weekend. So again, shout out to these students. Because they did a great job. So the first shout out is to the student who performed the piano concerto by Prokofiev. It was piano concerto number 3 in C major, opus 26. Now, I've heard recordings of this, and it's just really delightful to hear someone play it so well. So shout out to that student. Also, shout out to the soloist who played the violin concerto in C major, opus 48 by Kavalevsky. I mean, this was literally a concerto that was on fire. So he played the first movement, Allegro molto con brio. That was the violin concerto in C major, opus 48 by Kavalevsky. So shout out to the soloist, the violinist. Also, shout out to the violinist that played the piece by Sibelius. So the violin concerto in D minor, opus 47, Allegro moderato. Violin concerto in D minor, opus 47 by Sibelius. The violinist was fantastic. So shout out to her. Also, shout out to the cellist who played the cello concerto number 1 in G minor, opus 49 by Kavalevsky. And she played the first movement, Allegro. So the cellist, I'm giving a shout out to you. I thought you were fantastic, and it was great to hear all of the soloists. So big shout out to all of the soloists in this concert. Fantastic. And so it was a concerto extravaganza. And if you'd like to know more, you can just Google search that or look up information for concerts that take place in Princeton. And the name of the orchestra was Bravura Philharmonic Orchestra. So if you have a chance to check them out online. Now, before time gets away, I want to say that I hope that you can join me on next week's show, the C Major Radio Show. And I'm going to be doing an after show as well. But on the C Major Radio Show, I'm going to be talking about faint memory. So that's next time on the C Major Radio Show. I've been promising to do a tutorial for at least a year now, probably a little bit over a year. And I had posted that I would do that. So I'm finally getting around to do that. But I'm getting around to doing that. But I am excited because for the first time, I'm talking about details of that music, that solo piano song that I wrote, and I'm going to be talking about the melody, and I'm going to be talking about the story behind the song itself, and just sharing with you in a little bit more detail because I know that I have fans that enjoy hearing me when I play that song. So, I know you probably noticed there was no music bed this time. I didn't have any music underneath me as I was talking throughout today's after show, but I wanted to just focus more on the speech and focus more on the message of committing to music. So stay inspired, be encouraged. I hope that you will stay with whatever music making path you choose for yourself. And if you're in the greater New York City area, I encourage you to go out and make music, go out and listen to music. But whatever you do, try to get out and take part in some type of music making, and that it will make your day. I'll see you next time right here on The After Show.